Welcome back to the Boneyard Podcast, everybody. This is your host, Jared Chaffin, along with my good friend,
Artemis, bro.
We're coming to you this week with episode 242.
242.
242. Artie, we're 10 away from a big one. 252.
Ooh, yeah. I like the little plug in you did right there. The real ones, no. I like the little tie in you did with that 252.
Well, we'll have to figure something out.
Used to have that 252 area code as my on the phone number for a long time.
Yeah, I never made the switch.
Yeah, see, I was paying my own bills.
Yeah. See,
so I had to make the switch.
I've had the same cell phone number since I was like 13 years old.
That's nice.
Yeah. It's nice. I honestly,
damn, since you was 13?
Yeah. I've owned that thing for a while.
No struggle bus over here.
What's up, Josh?
I've got you beat. I've had the same phone number since I was 10.
Oh, both of y'all privileged.
In fourth grade. In the fourth grade.
I'm just around privileged men.
Do you have a cell phone in the fourth grade?
Yeah, my first one. Same phone number since then.
I got a cell phone.
Same number since the fourth grade. Look, the kids not getting unless it's a track phone. You ain't gonna have no cell phone in the fourth grade. I'm sorry.
No, that's shot.
TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, none of that bullshit. Nope.
See, and this is why I claim Gen Z. This is why I just go ahead and claim Gen Z. Like, yeah, I'm 97, but like I'm basically Gen Z.
Yeah. What is the cutoff on that? It's
96 or 97, depending on who you ask.
See, Artie and I are 95s.
95.
You guys are definitely millennial.
Firmly millennial. Yeah.
Like, I don't like that we're so close to Gen Z either, though.
We are very close to Gen Z. Yes, we are. I mean, it's just a couple years. We're very close to Gen Z.
Like,
we're on the back half of millennial.
Like, I wish that we were firmly in the middle. Like a 92. 91.
I'm all for the technology. I'm not saying I'm not a granddad sitting on the porch like get off my lawn when it comes to the technology. It's just the social media aspect is what I'm talking about. Kids can't be all up in that.
Okay, boomer. I was actually just having this conversation with my wife. We were talking about AI, and that's a conversation for another time. But
it's gonna be a time. It's gonna be a time.
No, I mean, I feel like having a cell phone number for 13 years. Look, my number is easy to remember, and that's why I chose my number.
What does that mean, Jared?
What do you mean? What's that mean?
Your number's easy to remember. 111111111. Like what does that mean?
There's a lot of the same digit in it.
Okay.
I'm not trying to dox myself here, Artie. I'll have
No, you won't have 1,000 messages.
I'll have the NC State that Dave Doran's burner account just completely in my mentions. I'm sure after this podcast I'll have a bunch of Florida Gators fans in my podcast or in my mentions or in my text because I got a lot to say. But I digress. Artie, 42.
Yeah.
Probably the easiest one to pick. Probably the easiest number to do, right?
I mean, yeah, I absolutely. If you're going where I think you're going, there's only 142.
Yeah.
There's only 142.
There is.
Honestly, there's been other Hall of Famers and other goats of goats that have worn 42. But there's only one.
I'm going Kevin Love.
I knew you weren't gonna say the name out because we're on the same wavelength. We're thinking about the same person.
Oh no, there's only 142, and his name's Mariano Rivera. This one's for Josh. There's only 142, and his name's Juan Pablo Montoya.
Pablo Montoya.
It's crazy because I was literally about to say that, and then I was like, I could go Kyle Larson though.
Oh yeah,
He's in the 5 now, but still, you know.
was Kyle Busch was never in the 42.
No.
No.
He was in the 5, the 18, and now the 8.
That's sacrilegious that he's driving the 8.
Hurts me every day.
Yeah. 42. Kevin Love. Let me tell you about him. 5-time All-Star. 2016 NBA champ, 2-time All-NBA. Now I'm not the biggest basketball fan, and like Kevin Love's one of those guys. Like, yeah, like people know who he is. Like, he's had a good career. I didn't realize this man's been playing for 17 years.
He's playing for a long time. Yeah. No, yeah, Kevin Love, because Kevin Love had a long career in Minnesota before he even went to Cleveland.
Right. I mean, he played 6 years, 5-6 years in Minnesota.
Yeah, he made his name in Minnesota. I
then-
remember Minnesota Kevin Love.
And then played what? About 8 years, 9 years in Cleveland, and now he's been with the Heat for 3 years. Is he hanging them up?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's kind of doing what my boy UD did. Udonis Haslam. He's more like a player coach now. He's not really giving you good minutes or anything quality, but he still provides something to the locker room for a lot of these young guys. So that's kind of what he is.
We talk about the kicker being the best job in sports, but being that like locker room veteran that's just like there to hang with the boys,
yeah,
and still play like professionally.
And like he's not going to give you much, but then he'll mess around on a random night and drop 35. Like, it's one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, is he a Hall of Famer?
Ooh, that's boy. You know, I think Kevin Love is a Hall of Famer. I don't know if he's first ballot, but I think Kevin Love, I think he'll get votes on the first ballot, and then that second time, maybe even third time around, he'll get it. I think Kevin Love's a Hall of Fame. Yeah, I think he's had a Hall of Fame career.
Give me Kevin Love's NFL comp. Like if he would, like, who would you say is the Kevin Love of the NFL?
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers, yeah, that's a good one. Although Phillip Rivers never won a
right. Kevin Love's got a ring.
ring.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers ain't got a ring. So, but if I had to kind of
Andrew Luck,
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I don't know because I don't think Luck's a Hall of Famer though.
I don't either
because he didn't play long enough. He absolutely
could have
ballot. He would have been first ballot had he stayed another maybe 3 or 4 more years. But
yeah,
he didn't have a long enough career.
Alright, do you have a 42?
Of course. It's a little known guy. Not too many people have heard of him. Didn't really do too much. Never really contributed that much to society.
Can I take a guess?
You can take a guess.
Can I take a guess? Mo Vaughn.
That was close. Good guess.
Ronnie Lott.
Ronnie Lott was also a close one. Very, very close.
I'm trying to think if I can think of.
I'm saying this guy's he's little known.
Can I think of any other 42s?
Not a household name. Not someone anyone has ever really heard of. Probably.
Tell him about him.
This guy is by the name, last name Robinson, first name Jackie. Again, probably not a household name. Probably never heard of Jackie Robinson. Like I said, didn't do too much. Only thing he did was break the color barrier in baseball. That's all he did. And by the way, he was actually one of the best players in baseball ever. Not just at the time period, but just ever. So, yeah, that's when I say the only 42. There's only one 42. Now, I would have said Mariano Rivera too. I definitely would have said Jackie, and then I would have had to give Mariano his respect, simply because I was also thinking Juan Pablo Montoya just because of Josh. So those are the three names, but there's only 142. Man. There's only one.
That's a good one. You got to get there, right?
That's that's just one of those like it's kind of like 23. I could say somebody else, but there's only 1, 2, 3. So
I'm trying to think of a different 23.
Bubba Wallace.
Similar to Jackie Robinson there. So, I don't think he was the one to officially break the color barrier.
Yeah.
But like he's like the most prominent.
Right. He's the most prominent one right now.
We should just do it. We should just do a show, not talk about anything else, and just do like player comps of like
across sports.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be too bad.
That honestly be a pretty good show.
Yeah, I'll be down for that.
Yeah. If we start now, that's all we'll do all podcast.
Just player comps. A lot of sport knowledge here.
Josh, what I know you're behind the scenes, but I think next week we should start that rank thing. So just let's make a mental note of that. All right, Artie, episode 242 of the Boneyard podcast. The Pirates' magical run,
yeah,
unfortunately came to an end. But what a hell of a ball game! Really, both games against Coastal were great. The first game, it was great until it wasn't.
Right, it got away from us.
But you were there the whole time on Sunday in the elimination game. The entire time you were there. And look, Coastal Carolina is very well could be one of the I think they may be a top 10 team in the country. They could have very well been a national top 8 seed. In my opinion. They may not have the bats, plus the committee has to give it to all these SEC teams just for them to get waxed. But I don't know. Give me your takeaway from this weekend's regional.
Oh man, look, it was. I wouldn't say exceeded expectations because exceeding expectations would have been winning the regional, right? But to go in there and to go 2-2 on the weekend, and you only lose to the host team, right? There's no shame in losing to the host team. There's no shame in losing to the team that is hosting the regional and is likely to win the regional. We waxed Florida. We waxed them in the first game. We waxed them in the second game. And that showed me something that we were able to go up against a team in Florida that a lot of people, when you look at some of these other podcasts, you look at some of the other people, oh, Florida got a nice draw. Florida's going to go into Conway. Watch out for Florida. Florida might just win this. Don't on Florida, and we waxed Florida. Twice.
I so badly wanted to invite an old friend of the podcast on this podcast tonight, just to ask him if he was ready to retract his takes from before the regionals. Our boy Chris Phillips. Look, I get it. I know a lot of people don't like Chris. I know a lot of people are very opinionated about him. Chris has been good to us, but I was this close, Artie, to shooting Chris a message and being like, yo, you want to set some fireworks off and come on the Boneyard podcast this week?
Look, but we're not ducking for nobody. That would
have been electric.
Yeah, that would have been a good conversation.
That would have been electric.
But no,
especially after. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, just extremely proud of the boys. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say about the Conway Regional. Extremely proud of the boys. Extremely proud of the effort. What Coach Godwin said is we're playing with house money. He said that repeatedly over the weekend, and we were playing with house money. Not supposed to be here. We're having fun. We're gonna let these bats fly. We're gonna let it all out there, and we did that, and we put ourselves in a position to win. Like you said, that final with Coastal was a 1-0 finish. You don't see that anywhere in baseball anymore. You don't see a 1-0 finish anywhere in baseball. It was a highly contested, highly great game. Bullpen showed up, and we were right there. We just couldn't get it done. We had opportunities. We couldn't get it done. We lost to a better team, and there's no shame in that. So I'm proud of the effort from the Conway region.
Yeah, I was too. I mean, really proud of how the boys battled. And look, it gave me a lot of hope for next year. Artie, you remember what we said about, I guess, 3 weeks ago now, when we were preparing for the conference tournament, when we said, look, we don't expect them to win, and that's kind of that house money aspect of it. But we want them to get a taste of what it feels like to get close.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't make it to a super and didn't get close. But even this team, even in their worst year since 2016,
still made it to a regional final for the 6th straight year.
Yeah. Just an absolute, I mean, you can't beat it. And these younger guys the ones that are staying got a taste of, oh, this is what it's like. Oh, this is like, we can battle. Like we're that good. Like we're playing these teams as freshmen and making a run. Look out. Next year might be the year.
Yeah.
But without that being said, Artie, you got to keep some of these guys. And I don't know. I think we're up to 8 or 9 in the portal already.
Yeah. It's a wild west world we live in, man. And being in a mid major like we are, it's like, damn. Like y'all do know y'all can like this isn't football or basketball. Y'all can stay at ECU baseball and really do what you want to do and succeed and still build your resume. But hey.
Yeah. I mean, I think really out of the names on the list that have entered the portal, I think the most surprising is probably Lance Williams. Would have liked to see him stick around. The rest, I mean, maybe Keenan Bowman. Other than that, like, yeah, I mean,
rotational guys
you can fill those holes.
Yeah,
you can fill those holes, and then I mean, Brad Pruitt is also in the portal, but the rest of them, I mean, if you can keep some of those guys, Cliff, I am asking you though, please jump in the portal. Go get somebody.
He's got a Dabo mindset right now. He'll change. He'll change. He'll change.
And I mean, I know he said,
and he's obsessed with being successful. So if that's the way of the world, he's gonna change. I'm telling you, he's gonna be out of a job. He's not gonna be able to coach nowhere if he doesn't. So he'll change. Dabo had that same mindset. Dabo switched up real quick because Dabo's obsessed with winning.
Yeah. Talk about a coach comp. Dabo and Cliff Godwin. That's a pretty good comp. Both pretty religious. Both.
So Dabo's got 2 rings.
Yeah. But when you're given Dabo is like the kid that was born with a silver spoon in his mouth at Clemson.
You think so?
I mean,
He's not
Clemson
a Clemson guy. He's an Alabama guy. He rolls.
Yeah, but like now, like with the money that they have at Clemson, it's not East Carolina money.
Oh, I mean, yeah, okay, we're talking. Yeah, I mean, obviously. But
I'm not talking that he's a Clemson guy. I'm talking that he's got more resources. Now, don't get me wrong. Cliff Godwin, now most of the coaches at East Carolina he's got more resources, in my opinion, than basketball does for sure.
Cliff has some runway. He got some runway, and he's earned it. He's earned the runway he's been given. So
maybe that's who we should get on for episode 252. CG. Yeah. I liked that they battled through adversity. They went in, they popped the number 17 team in the country in the mouth. A team that was honestly pretty hot coming into the regionals. Yeah, they lost in game 2 of the SEC tournament, but I mean, the back half of their conference play season was really good, and they were in contention to host a regional. They were seen as probably the toughest 2 seed coming into the tournament, and then got waxed by a team that 3 weeks ago wasn't even going to be there.
Yeah.
Next year, Artie. Next year.
The experience we gain from this, though, last point. The experience we gain from this, though, is going to be monumental going into. If we keep that core intact and what they learned from this past season, now, obviously we've said this plenty of times about past ECU baseball teams, but with them being so young, with the talent and skill they have, and then also learning that experience at an early clip, right, and then being able to run it back with still a couple of years left in the tank, yeah, watch out.
Yeah. I mean, and to do it on the backs of really 2 freshman arms is absolutely insane. I mean, I guess Ethan Norby's not a freshman, but you get my gist.
Yeah.
And then Austin Irby. Talk about a stud. Hit what? 3 bombs?
Irby went off. 3 Irby out in that first game. 4 or 5.
This team's going to be fine. I don't know. I was very happy with what I saw. Of course, we didn't get the result that we all would love.
Mm-hmm.
But you got the experience, and right now for this club, I think that's the most important part. I'm calling it. Next year's the year.
Next year's always the year until we knock the door down.
Josh, I want you to clip this and timestamp it, and then next year on February 7th, a week before the first week of the season, we are going to post this clip, and I'm going to say next year's the year, and then we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Or timestamp it and we play it when we make it to Omaha next year. And if we don't make it to Omaha next year, we just burn it.
I have one question for you guys. Since the major sports of college have officially wrapped up for ECU,
Mhm.
I want you guys to tell me of these four teams, rank from highest to lowest win percentage next year. Football, men's basketball, women's basketball, baseball. Highest win percentage to lowest win percentage.
Ooh.
Not how good it feels. Not how good it feels. Not how the postseason goes. Because as we've seen, the postseason can be, ECU can get hot in the postseason. I'm talking about straight up win percentage. How are the seasons going to feel next year? Give me the rank.
year.
Next season. Next season.
So men's, women's, basketball, football, and baseball.
Football and baseball, right? Yep.
Okay.
You got to think. Hold on. I'll just want to ask before we start. Remember, women's basketball has 2 returning players,
Yeah. No.
and we don't have a big.
Women's basketball, I was going to say, is my 4. I think there's a big step back. I mean, you lose a Maya Joyner. Yeah. No. I do like some of the girls that Kim McNeil's bringing in with this recruiting class that just came in, but next year I'm not too excited about what's going to happen there. Three. I got to do some quick math.
Artie, do you got your list? You got your list?
I think it's per usual. To be honest with you, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's baseball, football, men's basketball, women's basketball. That would be my order.
So baseball, football, men's basketball, women's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think baseball's the one.
Okay. I mean, because honestly, because a 7-win football season is about the equivalent. Is like one ahead of the equivalent to what we had this year for baseball.
Yeah, that's part of it, right? Is you play so few games. I mean, a 7-6 season next year in football, which I don't think is out of the realm of possibility. I think that's kind of the floor.
No, that's probably where we're projected anyway. Maybe less than that.
Yeah, that's a 530 win percentage, right? I mean, baseball, a normal year, we're seeing this team push like a 650, 680,
right,
close to 700 win percentage, if not higher. I'd have to go back and look at them, but we're pushing those that almost winning 75% of our games, especially with if we are able to bring a lot of guys back. Here's the thing: basketball, I like the direction that we're headed. I think it's going to be very close between basketball and football.
That's what I would say. The ones that I would flip, it's not going to be 1 and the 4. It's the 2 and the 3. Like football and basketball, I could see that flipping in terms of winning percentage. Because to me, football is not going to be in a middle ground. We either going to be really bad with 3 to 4 wins, or we're going to have 8 to 9 wins.
I think
5-6 wins for ECU football.
I've told plenty of people already. I'm very high on ECU football next year. I'm very bullish, but then again, as the most pessimistic person in ECU media, that's par for the course for me.
I 6-6 or 7 or whatever, 7-5. But I see either 3 to 4 wins or 8 to 9 wins. That's the threshold ECU football is going to be in. So
I very well like. I think that the American Athletic Conference season could come down to senior week, ECU Memphis. That you want a hot take? That's my hot take, and I don't know that it's that hot.
Okay.
If this team stays healthy, This is the highest I felt about an ECU football team, and this is taking out of the back half of last year. I feel really good about what this team can do.
ECU playing important football in Week 12 is all we can ask for.
Granted, I think that's Week 10. I think we closed the season with two road games.
Well, the back half of the season, weeks 10 through 12, weeks 10 through 13.
Important football in Dowdy in November. That's what I need.
At the end of November, middle to end of November, we're playing quality, important football. These games matter.
You look at it, the schedule lines up really well for ECU. Outside of that, Army, BYU, like playing them like 5 days apart. That sucks. But what were you gonna say?
I was going to say men's basketball finished at 5.76. ECU football finished at 5.61, I believe, or 5.65. Women's basketball finished at 5.31, and baseball was also in the 500s. I think they were like 5.15 or something like that. So football actually won this year. Oh, men's basketball. Men's basketball actually won.
Men's basketball, football, baseball, then women's basketball. Or was it baseball last?
I think it was, baseball was right before women's basketball.
Okay. So they were three.
But all four above 500 at the end, at the very end.
How do we do? How was it in soccer?
Soccer?
I mean, American Conference champs.
Internet's being slow on me now. Let's see.
Here, I got you. Let's see. Any guesses? I don't know.
I would say 722.
722. I mean, remember I think they were the 3 seed.
Yes, they were.
But they did have some pretty big wins. They got off to a really good start. Looking at
643. 643.
Not bad.
I thought they had. I guess
I got 650. It's 650. Oh no, I'm looking at the conference. I'm looking at the conference. My bad. My bad.
You know, my thing with win percentage when it comes to soccer is how they calculate the draws. I don't remember how that's done, so I just. But if the draws are wins.
I didn't think they were wins, but I thought they counted against the total number. I don't know.
I don't know.
I like that though. I like that little exercise.
Ask me again in August.
I like that little exercise.
Ask me again in August.
I'd love to see ECU basketball finish second though, or even first. ECU men's basketball. Probably somewhere they've never finished, maybe once or twice.
What's most likely to happen? Let's say next year. 10, we'll say 10 win ECU football season. I know that's a stretch. These are all kind of stretches. So if you had to pick one to happen next year, 10 win football season, which would you feel most confident about? 10 win football season, basketball making the NIT, or baseball going to Omaha?
Well, I mean, come on, man. That's a Omaha is like.
But you got 13 games. You got 13 games to get to 10.
Yeah, we're talking about playing for a World Series. I mean, that's obviously the clear choice. But I personally, because this program is so decrepit, basketball making to the NIT would be like, oh my God, ECU's on the map, bro. ECU's on the map. ECU has made it. Basketball making it to the NIT.
Which would
That means
is
we
that
had
the
a
one you would be the
very-
most excited for? Is ECU basketball and the NIT?
Personally, yes, I would be most excited for that because I low key expect for baseball to I kind of expected it years ago. Now I'm just like, all right, man, like come on, ECU baseball, like come on.
It'll happen when it happens.
I'm poking it with a stick, like come on, man, Omaha right there, come on, bro. And in ECU football, I just need some consistency out of ECU football. 2 wins, 8 wins. 2 wins, 8 wins. 2 wins, 8 wins. I just need consistency. Basketball, I expect nothing from basketball. So if we can make it to an NIT, yes, I'd be most excited for that.
Josh?
In the NCAA tournament, I'm cashing out the savings to make it to that game.
Of those 3 options, ECU with 10 wins in football.
That's the one you would prefer?
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important to the school.
I think so.
Sure. ECU
But
won
here's why I prefer it. I prefer it only because that means that we have enough players on the team that are good enough, or we have one player who's good enough to propel into the NFL to keep ECU relevant even at the pro level. Like right now, people know Keaton Mitchell. The folks who are Denver fans, they know Jaquan McMillan, right? Like it keeps ECU relevant at a bigger at the even bigger stage. And if they can use Keaton the way that they plan on using Keaton this season, it's going to be international. It's going to be international, and that's what I hope for.
In the day and age of NIL and transfer portal, you're only going to have these guys for 1 to 2 years max anyway.
You're only getting them for one.
One. Yeah, you're right. You only get them for one. And then they go into greener pastures. They just are.
They'll only perform like that for one. Yeah, I mean, Ashton Genty, he wasn't there for 1 year. He just did all the stuff for real 1 year. Like, he was on Players to Watch at the beginning of the seasons, but nobody really knew what they was really in for with that. At the end, we understood, but like, you know what I'm saying? What's your take, Jared?
I think most important for the school.
It's football, not even
football.
Right.
I think the most reasonable, of course, is baseball. And I'm torn. I'm torn between football and baseball in this exercise as to which one I would prefer. I think it's I think personally I would want to see ECU make it to Omaha. I think personally.
That's the one you'd be most excited about is ECU making Omaha.
Now that's the thing. Like I feel like the 10-win season, I'd be talking the most shit. I would be insufferable on this podcast, Artie. If we have 10 wins this season, I'll be the most insufferable person around.
Right, but ECU football has had 10-win seasons before.
Yeah.
ECU basketball's never been to the national invitation.
I agree.
And ECU baseball's never been to Omaha. So ECU football's had 10-win seasons before.
Wait. I mean, ECU basketball has been to the NCAA tournament twice. Lost in the first round both times, and that was before it expanded to 64.
Okay, so we're talking about when our grandfathers were like 2 years old, right?
No. What was the last one, Josh? You may have to fact 94.
I believe it was 92, but I'll just check real quick.
Now, talk about a year at East Carolina if it's 92.
Yeah, I was about to say if it is 92.
Yeah, it would. I believe the teams we lost to in the first round, I believe both years went on to win the national championship. We lost to Villanova and Carolina in the first round. But both times
Most
we made
recently, in the 1993 season.
We're right around it. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and lost to North Carolina. 72 first round loss to Villanova.
I'm just a casual though.
What a time to be at ECU 92, 93 though.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That would have been a time. Actually had legitimate sports to root for back to back. Bring it back.
Who won the NCAA tournament in '93?
That was Carolina.
In the year that we lost to Villanova, who won that tournament? I'm pretty sure it was Villanova.
Let's see, 72. I don't know. That wasn't Villanova. That was Wooden in the UCLA Bruins. It was his 8th one. It's 8th.
But have we ever been to the NIT though? I
don't believe so.
Yeah, I said we had never made the NIT, not the NCAA.
Oh, I thought you said the NCAA.
I said
I misheard.
National tournament, NIT.
Well, we made it to the NCIT. and there was only 2 of those, so I think that's pretty good. we made 50% of the field. We made 50% of the fields.
Yeah, well, that just rebranded to like the CBI
and lost in the quarterfinals. The quarterfinals was the first round.
Got okay. Yeah. Look, the NIT doesn't move the needle for me. If EC is going to go, I need them to make the dance.
The NIT definitely moves the needle for you. Stop, don't.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm going to be amped up. I'm going to be
for you.
Don't get me wrong.
I'm taking the day off and going, but like,
yeah, but
he's
like,
not happy about it. He's not happy about it. This is what he wants.
I'm still answering.
We didn't make the NCAA. How dare ECU basketball do this? Stop it.
Oh gosh. All right. Anything else we got? Kelly Yu.
Yes.
She said she'd come on the pod. We should set that up.
At Nationals, Eugene, Oregon. That's big time. Big time.
Big Ten country right there.
Yeah. Shouldn't be, but it is.
So Kelly Yu, in the qualifiers for the NCAAs, she hit a program record, broke her own record, and ran a 22:54 to qualify for the championship days. And then in the 100, set another program record with 11.15.
It's insane.
We got us one.
We got one.
ECU got us one.
That's crazy stuff.
When is Nationals, by the way? When is? Do we know when that is?
Next week,
June 11th through the 14th. June 11th through the 14th.
I gotta make sure I'm tuning in. I'm trying to see that.
Yeah,
I know
all of Pirate Nation. Gotta tune in.
When's her like first event?
I don't think
there's a schedule out.
I don't think it was posted yet. I didn't find it.
My question is, should we have her on before or after?
No, have her on after.
After.
I'm not going to be blamed for any type of jinx or any type of like. They got in their head. Nah, we're going to talk to her after.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning to. And how sick would it be to have her on here and she's got the NCAA trophy?
She's got medals around her neck.
Or medals. Do they give individual trophies? Like, do you get a small NCAA trophy?
I don't think you get the individual trophies. I think you just get your medal.
Yeah, that's what they give out medals.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I love it. And guys, we are getting to the best time of year. Like, we're getting closer, I'd say, to football season.
June, baby. We're full swing in the summer. It's summertime.
Summertime.
Football's wrong.
God, that was terrible. I should not have done that on a recorded.
And I definitely, I was going to play into it for you because I know the feeling is easy, and that was coming next. But I just,
All right.
it happened.
Walk the plank. Walk the plank. This one's an easy one. Sully, my dude.
Yeah.
What a fucking dick.
Yeah, there's no walk to play this week.
Oh, and he's not the only one. It was a bad weekend for college baseball.
Oh
coaches.
yeah, wait for it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because I saw what happened with Wake too.
Yeah.
Was it Tom Walter, Coach Walter at Wake?
Yeah.
One, it's 2025. Get rid of that word. You figure out a different word. I don't know. You can't say that.
There are millions of other words, man.
I was about to say, there's a whole bunch of other words you can say too.
You know, the best part about expletives to me is that any word can be an expletive if you just use it, right? Like,
What?
like you
right.
stub your toe. If you say Cracker Jack in the right way, everyone's gonna know what you mean. You can use any word. It doesn't have to be
You're gonna trigger me.
The censored six. It doesn't have to be the censored six or the canceled quantity.
Can you put it in a sentence, Josh?
Yeah, Josh. Let's Josh. Let say you stump your toe. You can't use Cracker Jack. You've already used that. What's your like? There's a class of 3-year-olds right behind you.
Mm-hmm.
What is Josh saying?
Unicorn snot, bro. That's unicorn snot. Like that is unicorn snot.
Oh yeah,
and they're all gonna love it, right?
Good,
but but if when I say it in that moment, it's gonna let off so much steam. It's gonna let off so much.
Artie, let's hear yours.
It ain't no cover up words. Oh fuck, like that's what's going. Shit.
You're Artie. You're standing there. You bump you hit your funny bone on the door. Your cute little goddaughter standing there looking at you.
He's standing right behind me. Fuck! Oh, Scar, you didn't hear that. You didn't hear that. You did not hear that.
Don't tell your daddy.
Don't tell. You didn't hear that.
Oh goodness.
Mine is a mix. My go-to is fudge a duck.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I get that hard F out. And I get to still say
that oddly sounds satisfying though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
fudge a duck.
Fudge a duck. Yeah, that kind of sounds satisfying. I get it.
Or if anybody else is in the toddler dad gang, if you're a fan of Bluey or if your little one's a fan of Bluey, biscuits. you know.
But you know one word that I don't use a lot, but that does let off a lot of steam when I say it the right way, is rats.
Rats. I feel like that's something that you would say like like an old mob movie, like or old like
that feels
rats.
For real. Yeah.
No, it's real old timey. But when you forget to do something,
rats.
When you forget to do something at work, that's the one to say. When you forget to do something at work, you got rats, man.
Oh, Josh is like rats. I forgot to put in the city plan for the new park for all the little kids. Rats. They're never getting a park.
Oh, we have lost all the Gen Zers watching now. They have officially left.
They have all left. Yes.
I'm trying to think. What's the one that my wife says? Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's gonna come to me after we get off. Even her boss was like, "That's a good one. I'm gonna start using that." I'll text it to y'all once I think of it. I'll text it to y'all.
I like fudge a duck though. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start using that one.
Fudge,
yeah, for sure.
Fudge Duck gets all the emotion out.
Yeah.
I can't say the one that my wife says because it's not a good cover up of anything. And already knows my wife and knows that she doesn't curse or anything. She is not like me.
I could probably count on one hand the amount of times I've heard Savannah cuss. To be honest with you, and I've known that woman for a long time.
My wife's a saint. I love her dearly. Yeah. Let's talk about the Kevin O'Sullivan thing. So the ECU Coastal game ends late. I don't know exactly what time it ended. I believe 11:30, 11 o'clock, something like that. Around midnight, 12:30, apparently, the teams were notified, hey, we're going to push the games back an hour tomorrow. And they were notified then. So, to my knowledge, they were notified at that time. All the coaches. And then the next morning, Florida gets to the field, and he's like, why did we push it back? And the site rep, who I believe is from UNCW, was basically saying like, hey, we needed some extra time to get the field ready. Like, there's a lot of baseball being played here, right? Like, we just needed some extra time. It was late. We needed some extra time. We buffered it by an hour. Did not like that. When, I mean, his team literally the day before was okay with playing 3 hours later and put up a 17 spot on Fairfield. Right? Like, so you knew it's not like it threw off your schedule or anything like that. And he laid in to the grounds crew at Coastal and into the site rep. Then it comes out that as ECU is entering the field to like head to their dugout, you have to walk in, I guess, from the third base dugout or vice versa. And as they were walking to their dugout, he was MFing a lot of people. And a lot of players didn't really like pay attention, or they had their headphones on. This is coming from stuff that Parker Bird has said on another show. And then he just goes after Parker Bird. Like, how are you going to go after the only D1 athlete that's missing a limb? I don't know. How can you, like, and from Parker's standpoint, and of course you never have the full both sides of the story, but from Parker's standpoint, he was like, hey, how's it going, coach? And I could very well see Parker being like that, just being a nice guy. He's not playing, right? How's it going, coach? Hoping you're having a good morning. Nothing. You MFer. And then he says, shove that whiteboard up your up your cracker jack. And then it blew up, and Cliff started yelling at him. And then everybody was like, oh, no, there's more to the story. They're talking about Chris Phillips. There's more to the story or whatever. Then in the post-game press conference, very nonchalant about it. Hey, it was handled, whatever. Okay. Then after that, the statement, and honestly, if you take the statement from him and Wake's coach, and they're the same template statement. And really, the statement doesn't talk about, like, I apologize to the players, anything like that. They're just sorry that they got caught saying these things.
It didn't come from them. It was just straight public relations. That's all it is.
And I'll just say, if you look into Kevin O'Sullivan, guy's got a colored past. That's all I'll say. I don't know. They can both walk the damn plank. He's just mad that the little old Pirates beat the fuck out of the Gators.
That's really what it boils down to. Frustration that he tried to take out other people. It got caught on camera. He was held accountable for his actions, and he didn't actually truly own up to his actions. He had people write him a statement, and then the statement was released.
I think that statement was written by AI.
Would have been ChatGPT, baby.
I have one other thing that an NCAA head coach in baseball did wrong this weekend as my walk the plank. And that is Texas's head coach saying "gig 'em" at the end of his
that's
interview
another good one.
game, and then correcting it to "hook 'em."
But between that and did you see the Texas, the kid at the Texas game right behind home plate, third down, the horns down?
No.
Yeah, a fan, probably a 12-year-old kid, threw a horns down on national TV wearing a Texas shirt. So
they're very sensitive about that. I will say Texas fans and people
Texas fans,
they are extremely sensitive about that.
Texas fans are the most sensitive prima donnas in all of sports. In all college sports.
I had a great time in Austin. Austin was great.
I'm sure
it was phenomenal. But if you put a horns down, it's like you shot their mother in the face. Like they are so sensitive.
The fact that they came to Greenville, 3 years ago now, and got mad that we wouldn't like stand and salute to the eyes of Texas, like they're basically Texas Pledge of Allegiance. Like, get the fuck out of here. Who the hell do you think you are to come into our house and tell us how to act? No. So entitled. And, I mean, honestly, do they really have anything to show for it since the early 2000s? Yeah, they've been good the last year or two, but, like, they haven't won any, like, they're not, like, national champions in the last, 20 years.
Good at everything, really great at anything. That's Texas.
There you go. Yeah. Uh-oh. All right. That's all I got. That's all I got. Anybody else? Anything?
I got nothing. I got nothing. That's Ashley, by the way. I mean, I'm texting her right now, so I don't think she knew I was recording, so she was out.
Come on, Ash. All right, guys. We appreciate y'all. We'll be back next week. Then we're going to take a week off that following week because your boy has been told not to record while he's on vacation. So,
and you better listen to wifey.
Man, we got a pretty nice setup in 2 weeks. I'll tell you a little bit more about it later.
I was going to say, where were we vacationing?
Oh, we're going back down to Emerald Isle.
Okay.
Always. But my grandmother who lives there, and we usually stay with her, the neighbor is going to be gone and is letting us stay there for free for a week.
Wow.
With a pool, basically everything. All we got to do is bring the food.
See, this is why you get in good with your folks. You get in good with your people, your neighbors. You know what I mean?
I'm taking
the
dogs
for years and years and years. You know, conversation after conversation. Hey, you know what? You guys want to have the house for a weekend? Whatever, man. Y'all got it.
They're letting during the summer. They're letting me stay at their beach house for a week for free, and let me bring my dogs.
This is how society should be, though. Like we should be able to ingratiate ourselves with each other and have these type of conversations, and we got to do away with all this.
I texted my moonshine guy. I was like, man, I'm going to need 3 or 4 jars now. So, Artie, let me know if you need some.
Oh, I'll be hitting you up. Don't worry about that. I need my peach cobbler, though, man. You was skipping on the peach cobbler moonshine. I need that peach cobbler.
I'll ask him if he's got any, but
I'll take the apple though too. The apple pie. I'll definitely take that.
No grape soda.
No grape soda. No grape
All
soda.
right, Artie, it's been a pleasure once again doing this with you. All right, let's get out of here. Make sure you subscribe to the Boneyard podcast wherever you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, whatever. Subscribe. Leave us a 5-star review. If you don't, Artie, tell them what to do.
Walk it down plank, baby.
Just like Kevin O. And then subscribe to our YouTube. Give it a thumbs up. We really appreciate you. And then, yeah, we'll be back next week. And I think we'll probably start planning some college football talk. All right, boys. Let's get out.
As always, Power Nation, we appreciate y'all. Wash your hands, wash your butts. Deuce.
Go damn Pirates.